It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Why's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son as your kinfolk. William Jewell, giving you my detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating. Rap, rap, rap. How are you doing? How are you living? I know y'all been hearing a lot of things lately. I know y'all have been spending your weekends on your phone lately, hearing the new music, hearing the new beef, hearing the new tracks. Right? It's been a lot to go on lately. It's been overwhelming, right? It's been over consuming. We've reached overconsumption. The beef is on overload. And some people feel like it's still being cooked. Some people feel like it's still being grilled. Like a hamburger patty flipped on a spatula. Somebody think it still needs to be a little bit more heat put to it. Right? But I don't like my burgers charred. I don't like my burgers slightly burnt. Right? I need my shit to be medium well. Right? And if not medium well, let me go to medium. Right? Cook it. But don't take the flavor out of it. Don't take the sauce out of it. And although I do like this beef, right? Of course I don't like where it's going. Right? Of course I don't like two black men going at each other, tarnishing each other's legacy just because of ego, just because of pride, just because of the spirit of competition, just because somebody wants some goddamn tea. Well, drink up, motherfucker. Because that shit is not good. Right? Because you got one man calling someone a pedo, and then you got another man calling another one an abuser. Right? Two dark corners of the society, not just the black culture, but American culture as well. Pedophilia, domestic abuse, men beating on their women, kids being touched, kids being sexually assaulted. Right? It's not even about you can't rap, you're not doing business good, you're not handling yourself as a man. Like, we going to places of no return. Like, because when you put that tag on somebody, like, that's different than a simple lie. When you put that tag on somebody, that's something like that. It can't be forgiven because you literally are trying to ruin my career. Because although whatever you say might be false, might not be true, like, it still gives people a negative, perception of me that's not true or that can't be proven true. And I mean, we've heard some things in the past, we've seen some things on social media, but nothing's been set in stone, right? Of course, the daughter part is, questionable, but nothing's been set in stone. So that's how I kind of feel about this beef, right? I want to just talk about the weekend barbecue because I feel like it's been some hot links, some sausages, some hamburgers being cooked. I feel like it's some ribs, some brisket, some pork butt being cooked. I feel like this shit is smoking, mine. Right? Feel like it's smoking. This is the weekend barbecue. Right? And it doesn't seem like Kendrick wanted to drag it out. It doesn't seem like he wanted this to go for months and months. He wanted to deal with this as soon as possible. Right? And the fact that Drake egged him on when he first dropped the push-ups, then went to the tailor-made freestyle, the fact that he egged him on and he said, nah, not this time. The fact that Kendrick got on Euphoria this Tuesday. It was just Tuesday. I was just doing a kickboxing session when I got those messages, when I got those phone calls, when I heard the group chat was booming, right? It was just Tuesday. And then Friday, I wake up, I scroll. is there any new music coming out? Like, what new music can I take in? I saw the baby. I saw Four Bats. I saw some things. So, this was just a regular day for me. I didn't think anything else was coming up. I was listening to Euphoria, playing it a little bit longer, really trying to decipher it, really trying to decode it, dissect it like everyone else was, right? And I heard 616 in LA. And 616 in LA is the perfect example of why the rap beef is good for Kendrick, but for his fans and people that like his music, it's also a bad thing. And why do you say that, Will? What's your thought process on that? Well, I say that because in that first verse of 616, the way that he was talking, the lyrics that he was, displaying, like, it really just got me into that vibe, into that mode of just listening to Kendrick Lamar, really relating to it, really taking it in as a grown man, really trying to use it like to get through this week, to get through this day, just to get by, just some words of wisdom, some words of advice, some words of encouragement, because Kendrick always speaks to the people. But he can't speak to the people in this rap beef. Right? He got to speak about Drake. And it takes away from his greatness. Okay, we haven't heard Kendrick Lamar since Mr. Morale. He did the Hillbillies. He did like that. I wanted more from him. I wanted to hear more, but we got to hear more through the rap beef. We just can't hear him on the island being Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, just spitting raps, spitting stories, giving us some wisdom, giving us some game, letting us know what he experienced while he was away from music. And 616 in that first verse, he gave it to us. But in the second verse, he talked about DJ Academics. He talked about a mole in Drake's camp. Right? He talked about Drake. He just talked about having information. Just saying that Drake is a terrible person. And people around him want him to go down. People around him think he deserves it. And obviously, if that's how you living, that's how you paying bills, that's how you taking care of family. If Drake is that goose with the golden egg or that cash cow for you, why would you want to see him go down? Right? Why would you want to see him dismantled? So, I mean, of course, it's hard to believe that people in his camp want to see him go down. Right? He says they're hustling him. Of course they're hustling him. He's hustling them. All of these relationships are transactional. But I get it. And so I feel like that song, that second verse, it kind of came back to haunt him. When he released Meet the Grams. So we go to Family Matters, right? So I'm really just listening to 616. I'm just enjoying it. I'm watching the game. I see the Nuggets, the Timberwolves are playing, and Edwards going off. Like, I'm really getting into it. Then somebody texts me, Drake drop. Damn, now I gotta listen to this. And not only listen, he gave us a video. He gave us a video of the good kid Matt City Van being crushed. He gave us a video of him at the new Ho King restaurant. Right, Drake gave us a video and he gave us a 7-minute song. And you know about the accusations in there. And I understand it. I gotta go bad. You talked about my son, brother. You don't know nothing about that. I said that about Euphoria. I said that when you talks about a man's son, when you questions a man's parenthood, his fatherhood, like, that brings a different emotion out of it. And albeit I be with some bodyguards like Whitney, then you talk about a man's wife, one of his most precious jewels, one of his most precious belongings. Not only a wife, but somebody he's been with since 2003. Somebody he's spent with over half of his life with. A partner, a mate, a friend, a confidant, a lover, a mother, somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with. When you talk about my wife, nigga, that's hell. And you gonna have to see that shit. You talking about my wife, first of all. She not in this. You bringing the family front into this. And I told you what I was gonna make you do. I told you what I was gonna say. You brought Whitney into this. And then you bring my best friend Dave into this and say that they have my son is his child. You saying my best friend's son, my son is my best friend's son. Like, come on, bro. That was a low blow. That was a low blow. Like, you're trying to say that Dave Free is my son's biological father. Right? Come on now. Nothing from there gonna stop, nothing from there gonna stop me from sending you to heaven's gates or, hell fire, whatever. Like, you gotta die, right? You should die. Right? He said that don't meet the ground. He said you should die. He wants Drake to die because he talked about the son. He went there, but you talked about my wife. So it's kind of like an even trade for a trade. And he told you to keep it friendly. Like, or he gonna go there. And Drake didn't want to keep it friendly. I said something about your wife, but I feel like some people, like bachelors, like men, like that are not married, they don't understand like how valuable or how much a man really appreciates his wife, how much his pride is tied to his wife well-being, because we're called upon to be the protectors and to be the providers. So when you talk about my wife, like, that's something. And then you talking about my son too. You talking about how my best friend is my son's actual father. Right? Then what you say about me is my little cousin was writing songs for me. Baby King. I'm the one that put Baby King on money. I'm the one that made PG Lang for artists like Baby King. I'm the one that, he bought 4 cars back to back in 1 week. Kendrick said that. He felt good about that. Like, he put Baby King on. Savior. The interlude. He gave him a whole verse on Mr. Morale. A whole song to himself. So, number 2D in my mic, bitch. That's cool. I don't act wide. Smoking on top 5s. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. So, you're saying Baby King has my pen. Then, from there, you attack the colorism thing, because that's a narrative. People saying, oh, why is he telling Drake he should say the word nigga when your girlfriend is half white? Drake should be able to say nigga because he's half black too. Like, he didn't say that. Kendrick said you're insecure with your black features. He said that it's not even that deep. It's just cringeworthy. And the last but not least part is we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. That's just teasing. That's just playful roast. Right? And now all of a sudden y'all want to turn this into, oh, this is light skin versus dark skin. Kendrick thinks he's so black. He thinks he's like Dr. Umar. Right? And then Drake, y'all let Drake take that narrative. And because Drake did not have nothing to say, but y'all gave it to him to say. With y'all headlines, with y'all blog sites. Drake didn't have nothing to say. But he said it, right? He used the colorism point. And then he tried to say, oh, you think you're so black, blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You wouldn't even want to be outside with our kids playing because they're lighter than you. Like, come on, bro. You need to stop that, bro. You really need to stop that. And, he's talking about he fucked white women. Like, he fucked white women and you fuck black, white, everything in between. You don't think Kendrick has had that same experience. But he's pointing out the hypocrisy in screwing a white woman on Mr. Morale. The first time I fucked a white bitch, I was like 16 in the Palisades, stumbled in my grave. Like, win-win. She paid her daddy's sins. Like, that's what he wanted to illustrate, and y'all turned that shit against him. It's not even that deep though, bro. But I get it. So I'm looking at it on both sides. I'm seeing it on both sides, right? And then of course Drake, he attacked Ross again. He attacked Metro. He attacked Future slightly. He actually was being very friendly with Future, right? Because I feel like that's a relationship he has to keep. He wants to rekindle that. And shit, Kendrick alluded to that. You needed Future for the club. And shit, that made perfect sense when I thought about it in that time. Drake had good songs, but Drake didn't have that Future's sauce to it. And then once he got with Future and he was able to make them type of songs, then like Drake, he really shot off. So damn, it's a lot of things that I'm referring to. Like I'm trying to speak it in order. You know, the family matters, right? I could break it down a little bit more. But, you know, that's what I got from it. And as soon as he dropped that, they say within 30 minutes, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams. And it was spooky. It was scary. It was eerie. Like, I heard it. The piano, right? Sounded like something from a horror movie. So I really enjoyed Meet the Grams. Rick Ross said if Andre 3000 was ever in beef, this is how he would rap. Dear Adonis. Like, damn. He talked to that man's son. I heard Joel say he gave his son a nighttime story. It's crazy because, like, niggas tried to say Euphoria, that wasn't a good diss, that was corny. Now they're trying to say that, oh, he put his son to sleep on a nighttime story. Like, just come on. Y'all supposed to be OGs. Y'all supposed to be knowing hip-hop, and y'all saying, like, bullshit to discredit some man art and creativity. And then a lot of people that say shit is, you know, they hypocritical because as far as themselves go, they haven't done nothing. Like, they've done it at one point in time, but this type of longevity, they haven't been able to see it. Not at the top, not at the peak. So they kind of got to take a back seat and just, you know, be truthful with their responses. Because if you just saying somebody's shit corny and you're not even giving your reason and why, then you compromise. Exactly what Kendrick was saying in 616. But he basically talked about his Drake. He basically called Drake a pedophile. This is the first track that he went there with him. Right? And he said he has pedophiles on payroll as well. He accused him of being a sexual trafficker like Puff Daddy. Right? So Fed's gonna show up at the embassy sometime soon, saying he don't take care of his kids. And the kicker was he has a daughter, right? He has a daughter. So that's the thing that's kind of getting lost and getting found and everything. Because I see the Drake fans are saying, bro, he said he had a daughter and he didn't. He lost just because he lied. Or he had misinformation. Drake baited him into taking that information and he used it and it wasn't true. And pretty much whatever Drake said on Family Matters, that's not true. I'm going to just say it's not true. And I believe Kendrick will address it. And if it is true, it's true. But you got to also keep in mind, he said that his best friend was the actual father to his son. So I doubt that's true either. So, I mean, we got to wait till some of the truths come out. But I think that was the only misstep that Kendrick really took. Because it gives Drake's fans a way out. It gives them a way to escape. Right? So just because of that, to me, I do give Family Matters over Meet the Grams. Right? I know a lot of Kendrick fans. I know a lot of people, they be like, damn, why will you? I would give Family Matters over Meet the Grams. Only because that was a lot to say. That was big to expose. And if it's not true, then, you know, you were fed some false information. And I don't know what might come from that. He might say something on why he said that. He might say something on, you know, the child might be revealed. We don't know. TMZ said he doesn't. So I guess TMZ is the right source. That's what they saying, right? But he, you know, he might reveal something later on to really kind of explain that. So he said it. I think that was a miscalculation in his opinion, because Meet the Grams didn't even need that verse. All he needed to talk to was Adonis, talk to Drake's parents, and then talk to Drake. So I feel like that's why it's still a great song, because if you take that one part out where he talked about the daughter, then I think it hits just as good. Right? So we got Meet the Grams. Right? And from there, we go to Not Like Us. Not Like Us. He continues on with these pedophile claims. Like, that's why I said it's sad, because Kendrick gonna go there. Like, he gonna go there because Drake already took him there. So it's sad that he has to go there. And again, he did ask for forgiveness on 6/16. So whatever he's doing, and he's just kind of overlooking his boundaries. He's kind of overlooking his brand. He's just overlooking it because he know this what he got to do to really claim his spot and be solidified as the greatest in his era. Because when we look back and talk about this era, we're going to be like, but hey, Kendrick did kill Drake. You know what I'm saying? And I think Not Like Us is just another nail in the coffin. I feel like Not Like Us is the nail in the coffin. Not Like Us is the nail in the coffin because he basically rapped, right? He came with bars. He came with the hot up-tempo energy that Drake fans like. He gave Drake fans the diss that they wanted, right? I think he did that with Euphoria as well. And then 6/16, most Drake fans like that one too. So I feel like on those three disses, he did kind of give Drake fans what they wanted. I feel like Euphoria was the first one. So Euphoria was one that was like, that was the one they had to shit on. That was the one they had to bring it down a notch. But when he did 6/16, and we got to keep in mind, he did it back to back. Back to back. Oh, you like that record? I'm going to get back to that for the record. You know what I'm saying? He prophesied that he was going to do that. He said he was going to do it, and he did it. He dropped back to back on Drake, who did back to back. And he told us he was going to do it in the song. He gave, and to be honest, Kendrick is giving us a movie right now. He's giving us a documentary. He's giving us an album, an EP about Drake. And I think it's genius. I think it's dope. He's giving us Euphoria. He's giving us 6/16. He's giving us Meet the Grams. And he's giving us Not Like Us. So I think that's 4 songs. Right? 1 to 3 more could make an EP. And that's if Drake responds. But Not Like Us, man. Freaky ass nigga. He's a 69 god. And everybody love that A minor. Everybody love that verse. Everybody love that part of the song. But basically, he broke it down with his relationship with Young Thug, his relationship with 21 Savage, his relationship with Quavo, his relationship with Future. Like, pretty much Drake has been using them to benefit of his career. And what did he say that I haven't been saying? Drake is a vampire. And I hate to say this because I'm trying to be unbiased when we talking about Drake. But this one thing I always said about Drake. He's a vampire. He's a vulture. Right? He sinks his teeth in the talent of other artists to try to get some of their spirit, to try to get some of their soul. Right? He's basically doing the adrenochrome with them. Right? He's trying to get some of their adrenaline so he can live forever. Ain't that right, Quinn Horn? That's Pizzagate. Right? That's QAnon. That's that conspiracy theory shit. Drake, he on that shit, man. But, yeah, so I've always said that Drake, he's stealing from other artists to continue to stay young, continue to stay youthful, and basically taking their styles, taking a whole sound, and using it to his benefit. You know what I'm saying? Even if he's allowing them to hop on a track with them, he's helping them, of course. Right, because Drake is Drake. Drake is a big name. He's giving these people this clout, 4 bats, right? But at the same time, it's transactional. Just like with Drake and his friends, right? It's transactional. So you got to give something to get something. But back to the colleague and colonizer line that Kendrick said on Not Like Us, that was really eye-opening. And not only did he colonize ATL, but he colonized Houston, H-Town. And I mean, with the permission of Jay Prince, of course. I'm so fly even when I'm coming down. Just my little girl, and she from that H-Town. Right? So Far Gone. June 16th freestyle. Like, that put Drake in a lot of Texas people eyes at the top. Right? That June 16th freestyle. That made me a fan of Drake. Like, damn, he's really repping for Screw. He's really repping for the South. Right? And that's why we liked Drake when he first dropped. You know what I'm saying? Other than the fact that he was with Wayne. But I mean, so to me, we can go to Houston, Bun B, Travis Scott. We can go to Houston. And we could say, the screwed up tones he kind of started doing. Like, and, some of the songs he was doing, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, like he put Houston, like, women in another light. As much as he bragged about them on his music, he really put Houston women in a bigger light. And I feel like them Texas women was really appreciated because of Drake. So I can give him love for that. But, he did take a little bit of that culture. And that's okay. That's understandable. It makes sense. Like I said, it's all transactional. You know what I'm saying? You give something to get something. So you can call him a vulture. You can call him a vampire. But we know that this is Drake's strategy. Always been his strategy. Because he's from Canada. And there's a lot of people that's in America that can really relate to Canadian culture. So the fact that he had to go to these places like Florida, these places like Atlanta, these places like Texas, New York even. Like, he had to go to some of these places to develop his sound, to get that recognition regionally, to get that culture understood when he makes music. And he had to use these places as the pedestal for him to basically give his sermon, right? So that was the platform. That was the pulpit he had to go to. He had to go to Atlanta, right? He had to go to Houston because he had to put the culture into his music. So yes, it wouldn't work if he was trying to represent Canada, right? It wouldn't work. But the fact that he went to the American ghettos, the American hoods, the American spots, of music, of talent, of women, of culture that are very big, that are very bright, that are very large on the mainstream of things when it comes to, the talent and the culture of the US. Drake had to go there. Right? And Kendrick picks at that. Right? So all in all, man, I do think Kendrick is ahead. And I'm gonna tell you how we've been scoring it with me and my friends. We've been scoring it as first person shooter versus Like That, right? Because we know first person shooter was a record that he denied to get on, and Like That is pretty much a response to that record. So I would say Kendrick has Like That. That's one for Kendrick, 1-0. Then push-ups. We gotta do push-ups versus Euphoria, right? Push-ups versus Euphoria. I mean, I feel like depending on who you are the fan of, you could go either way. But I feel like Euphoria said a lot more than Push-Ups said. And Push-Ups, Drake was still addressing everyone else. So I feel like Euphoria wins over Push-Ups, right? Because Kendrick went straight at him. Didn't really have to mention nobody else but Drake. I feel like Drake had to talk about a lot of other people. All he did was a short joke on Kendrick. Said the man's doing the splits, right? Talked about his percentages, right? And Kendrick addressed all that on Euphoria and then some. So I give Euphoria the win. So I give Kendrick 3-0. Right? So it's 2-0. 2-0. I give him Like That. I give him Euphoria over Push-Ups. Then we go 616 Taylor Made. Alright, Taylor Made, that's the AI shit. That's the Pac shit. That's Snoop Dogg. That's when he was trying to rap like B-Rabbit and beg Kendrick to come out. Right? But 616, that's pretty much one of my favorite songs that he's dropped in this whole diss. Right? Just because of that first verse. I just need that first verse to get through. God, my confession is yours, but opportunity and loss. Hey, he said, but who am I if I don't go to war? Like, nah, he killed that shit. Like, he killed that. And then the fact that Drake begged him on Taylor Made Freestyle, and we see the aftermath of that. And I said Drake made a mistake by dropping that track. And now we see the mistake that he made because Kendrick is basically running him down. And then we go to Family Matters, Meet the Grams. I already told y'all I put Family Matters over Meet the Grams only because the simple part that the daughter thing was the most explosive thing, and it so far has been proven not to be true. Although everything Drake said about Kendrick has not been proven to be true either. The fact that Kendrick rapped about that there were moles and he did get false information, even if Drake didn't bait him, or even if it wasn't Drake's strategy to give him false information, he still probably got false information, or we don't know what he gonna do after that. But I feel like, as over time, we can really give a good grade on both. But right now, I'm gonna give Family Matters over Meet the Grams. Right, so I would say Drake it's 3-1. 3-1. Not like us. However he responds to not like us, then we go from there. So, that's the weekend barbecue. That's my assessment. That's how I feel about the disses. That's how I feel about hip hop right now. I want music from Kendrick. Drake, he been putting a lot out. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Drake been putting a lot out, and he's kind of oversaturated the market and kind of like overwhelmed us throughout the last 5 years because of the music. So I'm okay if Drake takes some time off. Actually, I feel like if Drake takes some time off, I'll actually want to hear him more, right? But since he never leaves, it's hard to, have a sense of wanting, if somebody's never gone. So you never miss him, right? So I think that will do it for me. And yeah, Drake, just take some time off. Just take some time off and come back. And I think that's why Kendrick songs are just hitting a lot more harder, because we never hear from him, right? We never hear from him. And now we finally hearing from him. And this is what we need, because we need music from him. So I think that's the advantage that Kendrick has in this. Like, not only can he lyrically, and he's been proving it lyrically, he can go harder than Drake, right? He can go there lyrically. Drake has had some lines, he said some clever stuff, some slick shit. But I think Kendrick has really dove in there a little bit more lyrically. I've definitely seen a lot more breakdowns on what Kendrick has said too. And then let's not forget about the 616, the triple entendre, the quadruple entendre that Drake was asking for. So let's not forget about that too. So I do have Kendrick ahead in this battle. And I hope Drake can respond. But if he don't respond, I think that's cool too. Cause I don't know if he gonna be able to win this. And I think it just get nastier and nastier, and you don't want to hear nobody that keep calling you a pedophile on a song, bro. That's just the only thing. Like, every time you gonna respond, you gonna call me a pedophile. Every time you call me a pedophile with your voice, it's going to get in people's mind. It's going to sink in people's ears and their psychology and how they think of me. And we don't want that type of look, right? You can say it a couple times. That's enough. But when you keep saying it, we know the negative effects it can have on the public and the general masses. So I think that's why Drake should stay away at this point, because he played that card on you now. So now it's going to be tough. And I was hearing where they was advising Drake, he can respond, but don't touch on that. And I think that will make sense as well. So we'll see what happens. This is a family affair. This is a family affair. It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son. It's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating rap.